It was a bit busier than normal, but there were no long lineups today at the Pigeon River border crossing. Canadian travelers returning home are no longer required to present a negative PCR test if they've been gone less than 72 hours. And although there wasn't a big rush of travelers, officials at Ryden's border store still saw more customers before noon today than they had all of last week. Corey Nordstrom has more on that.
The Pigeon River border crossing was certainly busier than it has been for months, but not by much. There seems to be some hesitancy as Canadians are now allowed to return from the United States on short trips without needing to provide a negative PCR test. The lack of traffic not only surprised travelers, but those at Ryden's border store as well.
I thought there would be a lineup.
Well, we actually thought we'd be a little busier too, but we've been busier than we have been.
Ron Krudge of Niebing lives 5 minutes from the border and was fed up not being able to cross for nearly 2 years after becoming a regular at the border store.
At least once a week. It's been a pain, and quite honestly, I don't think it's fair that they've allowed the Americans to come in and not allowed us back in without the PCR test.
Okay.
Ryden's owner, Lori Boomer, has been patiently waiting for this day when Canadians could arrive and pick up some of the thousands of packages they have waiting in storage.
We've been down 90%. It's kind of been a ghost town, so this is a welcome reprieve. We have one customer that has, might be closer to 700 now, so I think it's going to be very busy.
With more traffic expected going forward, Boomer has taken it upon herself and her staff to inform Canadians that they will need to have their information on the ArriveCan app in order to return home. Krudge says the process is fairly straightforward.
We've already had to help 2 different groups that didn't have it, didn't know about it. Usually Customs sends them back, and then we help them out here and get them on their merry way.
It wasn't too bad. I'm fairly computer literate, so it's not a burden by any means.
Minnesota ranks near the top of the list as far as American states with high numbers of active COVID-19 cases. Yet Canadian travelers that we spoke with said they weren't particularly worried about traveling south of the border, knowing they would only be stateside for a short period. Corey Nordstrom, TBT News.